Yep.
And I think still waiting. And we're live here on Facebook. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land. Also I'll extend the welcome to to the YouTube watchers, because Rich always points out that I never do it, but I'm trying to leave him somebody to do it because then he doesn't get to welcome anybody. But Rich, I'd like to welcome you to the show
That's
as
all
well.
right. Thank you, Mike. So yeah, not much went on this weekend down in Davenport. Just a normal work week, working. But yeah. Yeah. How was your week up in Esterville?
It was an up and down week. Uh, Ear infection hit the baby, and
Ooh.
so she had some fevers this week. But we're doing all right. We're doing good. We're getting there. So, man, big. Actually, not that big of it. I mean, there's stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
but
Stuff to talk about.
not like a jam-packed show. Like we've shoehorned some things in to kind of fill up some time.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we might do a quick show. We could make it go longer. I don't know. We'll see. But first, we're going to hit up the NASCAR corner, presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, as well as we're going to talk USFL. We're going to do those two things. Rich, what are our other main topics of the week?
We'll be talking the MLB, see how the Cubs did, as well as talking a little bit about seeing how our teams are doing that we predicted going to the NBA and Stanley Cup finals. And we got to give you our picks for the Kentucky Derby, which is being run today.
All that and more, but first, let's roll the intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And we're back. Okay, folks, welcome back to the show. As always, we have our poll question. This week's poll question was hockey music, hit somebody, I want to drive the Zamboni, the hockey song, and Hockey Monkey. I don't know any of those songs. I don't even think I voted because I don't know any of the songs.
That's okay. I did put videos on the Balls and Sticks fan page post, so you could watch a YouTube video about the songs. I went with the hockey song. It's catchy. It's a catchy song. Don't listen to it too many times; it'll get stuck in your head, and it'll be there for a while. So that's what I went with. Mike, what do people think?
Well, I'm gonna vote just because, why not? The hockey song won, by winning with 3 votes. I Want to Drive the Zamboni had 2 votes. That's Solomon and I. And then Hit Somebody and Hockey Monkey had no votes.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, not too obscure. I think if we had more of a Canadian audience, we might have gotten more votes on this.
Yep.
So yeah. So hopefully this week's songs will be a little bit better.
I know at least 2 of them.
Yeah, we're gonna go with baseball songs about baseball. We're gonna go center field, View from the Cheap Seats, and Beautiful Day for a Ball Game.
I might have to listen to Beautiful Day for a Ball Game. That's the only one I don't know. I know which one I'm probably gonna vote for.
Have you been to Cubs games, Mike?
Yes.
Have you been to Bandits games? You've probably heard the song. It's just you've never knew what the title was.
That's probably accurate. But I mean, I know View from the Cheap Seats and I know center field quite well. So
okay. So that poll's going to go. I got it scheduled. It's going to go online at 12 noon. And I'll make sure to put the YouTube videos there as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you see what's coming up next, Mike?
Rich, I do. It's a left turn. What's after that, Rich?
It's another left turn, Mike, because we're going into the NASCAR corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, 5th Avenue, or you can check them out on their eBay store, Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. So, Mike, how'd the boys do down at the Dryden 400 at Dover?
Well, they needed to dry it out a little bit because Sunday they got about, what was it, 35 laps in. A checkered comes out, or a yellow comes out because of rain, and they tried to. It wasn't heavy rain; it was just spitting. So they continued to go around in pace laps for about 30 laps, and then it started to downpour. So they postponed the race for Sunday. They came back Monday. Did you get to watch any of the race either day?
I watched the portion of Sunday. And then when they called it, and then I pretty much knew that they were probably going to end up calling it just as hard as it was raining toward the end when they finally put out the red flag. And I was listening to the audio of the race on MRN because it started around the time that I went on lunch on Monday. But I didn't so I got to listen to about halfway through the third stage, and then I had a scheduled meeting. And by the time the meeting got over, the race was already over.
Well, we had both my wife and I had a fever. Like, I had 101 fever Monday morning when we woke up. Danielle had a 99.9 fever, so she was right at 100. We both took the day off. I ended up getting to watch all of the race on Monday, and that was nice. Between NASCAR naps and whatnot, but watched the race. It was fun. Felt really good going into the last caution when Chase Elliott takes the lead and doesn't give it back up for the rest of the race, winning the race, which was my pick, giving me 2 points for the week. Rich, you did quite well with Martin Truex Jr. finishing 12th. He had some trouble on the last lap. He was in 4th place, and then on the last lap, spun out, racing for position. One of those things that you've had a track record for this year, having your guy.
This is kind of the third race I've had where the guy's going for a pass or trying to go for the win.
This is like
it doesn't work out.
I think this is your 4th time where your guy has had a wreck in the last. Now, this is the first time your guy was not ahead of my guy before it happened. But Martin Truex was in 4th, just racing hard. It was one of those racing things. It was nothing malicious.
Of course.
But he ended up in 12th. Should have been probably. He definitely should have been in 4th, but things happened, and that's racing, folks. This year we are on Throwback Weekend as we get to enjoy throwback cars, throwback a racetrack that is considered a throwback racetrack. Guys are going to earn their Darlington stripes this weekend, as we're in Darlington for the Goodyear 400 at Darlington Motor Speedway. Rich, are you looking forward to the race? Are you going to be able to watch the race, or are you doing something special for Mother's Day?
I'm going to try and watch as much of the race as I can. I think I'm going to probably have to mow the lawn after coming home from church, so it might be on the headphones again.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna leave for lunch until about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. So we might have the race on the radio as we're driving out to Maquoketa.
Don't try to drive too fast, then.
I know. So before we give our picks for Darlington, let's give a recap of what happened on the fantasy side in our fantasy NASCAR league for Darlington, for Dover. The Easers won with 236 points. I came in second with 212. Mikey came in third with 199.
That's good. Solomon came in fourth with 157, and Funkhouse. I don't know who Funkhouse is, by the way.
That's okay.
But Funkhouse came in last with 130.
All right, Mike. Overall standings, I still lead the league with 1991. Second place is Dupo with 1914. Mike, you're still in fifth as you got 1587. The Easers, who you're chasing, have 1825.
And Funkhouse at 1862. So,
right in the middle.
Rich, this week we are in Dover. Who is your pick for the race this week?
I've got to defer to you, Mike, because your driver won, so you have to give yours first.
I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick. I think this week is one of those throwback. Not only is it a throwback weekend, but Darlington is one of those racetracks that veterans tend to do well at, because it takes. Yes, a lot of the guys that are younger have raced at it, but in bigger cars, the difference in the driving, you got to look for a veteran. I'm going with Kevin Harvick this week.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick is a guy that does really well at Darlington too. He's going to be in my fantasy lineup. And if you had picked the driver that I picked, which is Kyle Larson, I was probably going to go with Harvick.
Okay.
So I'm going with Kyle Larson. He also does well at Darlington. I like his car design this week too.
Yeah.
With HendricksCars.com, Chevrolet. So I'm going to go with Larson. I need a win. I'm down by 3 now.
Yeah. Okay. Are you anything else before we leave?
It could be things could get complicated this weekend with fantasy NASCAR and NASCAR in general.
Yep.
Because Kyle Busch is on baby watch this week, and he might have to take the race off with Trevor Bayne stepping into the number 18 car instead. So how that impacts our fantasy NASCAR is that he is on one of the driver matchups for a bonus pick. So you raised the concern of, well, what happens if Sunday morning he says, nope, I can't race? Do you get the points off of, do they interpret it as how the number 18 car does? Or because Kyle Busch didn't race, do you automatically get the points? Do the points automatically go to the other driver?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. NASCAR, do you have an answer?
Yeah, because I'd also like to know, even if you had Kyle Busch in your fantasy lineup, do you get the points off of how the number 18 car finishes, or do you get 0 points? Because even if guys like the part-time drivers like AJ Allmendinger, AJ Allmendinger is one that comes to mind. He's not in every NASCAR race, but technically you could put him in your fantasy NASCAR lineup every single week, even if he's not entered in that particular race, and you get 0 points.
Yeah, I have a fun one for you, Rich.
Okay.
Let's say Trevor Bayne wins the race.
Okay.
Who gets the free pass into the playoffs? The 18 car or Trevor Bayne? And if it's Trevor Bayne, does he have to drive the 18 car in the playoffs?
Well, Kyle Busch is already in the playoffs because he won on Bristol Dirt.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But it isn't like he would get the...
Would he get the bonus points for...
Would he get the points for getting the win? Because, I don't think it would go as a win for Trevor Bayne to where he races in the playoffs. Because as you remember, AJ Allmendinger won the Indy Road Course race last year, but because he wasn't a full-time driver in NASCAR, he didn't get to race in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. I forgot about that. I mean, he got to race. He just didn't get to compete for the championship. So.
No. He didn't.
Okay.
He was not, because he's not a full-time NASCAR driver.
Yep. So, okay. Well, this has been the NASCAR Corner presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois on 5th Avenue for all your sports memorabilia needs. Check them out in person or on their eBay store. Once again, that's Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Let's keep making left turns as we go around the diamond. The Cubs had a rainout last night, which drops their number of games from 6 to 5. Rich, would you have changed your number of wins if it was down, if they would have had one less game versus the Dodgers?
Probably not. I mean, they had 2 rivalry series with the Brewers and White Sox.
They did.
So I thought that they would have came out of there with 2 wins either way.
And they look like they should have on a couple of those games with the White Sox, and on one of the games with the White Sox, looked like they should have come away with a win, but gave it up. So I am, I agree. I would have stuck with my 2. They only got 1 and 4 show to show. Overall, they are 9 and 15. They're already 6 games under 500. Rich, is it? I mean, I just feel like this is the way the whole season's going to go.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they're playing a tough schedule right now, though.
They are.
So I'd like to see what happens if they got an entire week to where they get to play Cincinnati. I want to see how they do against Cincinnati.
Yeah, if they
Cincinnati is doing horrible this year.
If they did Cincinnati games and then a couple games versus, I don't know.
You know what? We'll get to see that next week.
Okay.
Well, in 2 weeks, Mike, because they get a 4-game set in Cincinnati.
Nice.
As well as 2 games against Arizona. Arizona's kind of going, kind of being up and down this year as well. So 2 weeks, we might have a winning week again. But that's next week. As this week, Mike, from show to show, they'll have to do a doubleheader with the Dodgers today to close out their 3-game series with the Dodgers. And then they go out on the West Coast to face the Padres for 3 games, and a Friday night game against the Diamondbacks. How many wins are you going to give them, Mike?
So I think they're going to pull off 1 win today, because winning 2 games in a doubleheader, even if you're that much better of a team than the team you're facing, is very hard to do. So I'm going to give them 1 win for today, and then I don't know that they're going to win another game.
I'm going to give them 2 wins. Because I like your theory with the doubleheader, but it looks like they're going to have to face Clayton Kershaw in Game 1.
Okay.
And Game 2, it looks like they're going to go with a bullpen game in Game number 2.
Okay.
So I'm still going to give them 2 wins. I think they still could somehow get one of the doubleheader games.
You are quickly almost talking me out of this game, out of giving them even 1 win.
And
they have a game tomorrow against the Dodgers, and then out to the Padres for 3. I don't even know if they're going to get a win this weekend or this week.
Ooh,
I am
going 0 wins.
I might drop them down to 0. I didn't realize they were doing a bullpen game for the second game. I would have put a bullpen game against Kershaw, and then who's their starter against Kershaw today?
Drew Smiley, who's coming back from the
you're right. I'm changing it.
You gonna 0 or 2 or 0?
0 wins.
0 wins. All right.
0 wins.
With that, I'm still gonna be optimistic, and I'm gonna go 2.
I hope they get
I want to see where the rotation falls in the series with San Diego, and because I might, if I can stay up for it, I'll get to watch the Diamondbacks game because it'll be on Apple TV Plus.
I don't have Apple TV Plus.
We only have we're doing like a 3-month free trial.
Okay, well,
either way, that as an offer, being when I got my new iPhone.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't think they're going to do that.
I know.
I think they're going to lose, and it's going to suck. The D-backs are the only game I think they can win this week. Finding out the lineup or the pitching rotation for today. The D-backs are the only game I really think they're going to be able to win, and that game I don't trust them. I mean, if the D-backs get hot between now and then, they're a tough team when they're playing well. When they're not playing well, we might be able to pull off a win. but I don't trust it. So I'm gonna go with 0. Rich,
All right.
any big MLB news you want to bring up today?
Um, no, not that I can think of. Nothing really
Yep.
came out. Dusty Baker. Dusty
Yeah.
Baker reached 2,000 wins and becomes the first African American manager to reach that feat.
And he got a lot of wins with the Cubs.
He did. The Cubs were one of his teams. The Giants,
Yep.
another one that he kind of bounced around.
Yep.
Um, I think that I don't remember there was like a post of like the top 5 players to ever play for Dusty Baker, and
Sammy
I think they
Sosa.
mentioned that Sammy Sosa did make the list. Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay,
as a Red, Jose Altuve.
I'm gonna bring it up, Rich.
Uh-huh.
We've had this discussion before. I'll bring it up again.
All right.
Do you, as a Cubs fan, do you still hate Sammy Sosa, or have you forgiven him a little bit?
I never hated him.
Okay. I mean, and actually,
Never
I'm
hated
okay
him.
with it. You and I got to go. How many games did we get to see Sammy play in together? It was great, and I appreciate what he did. Like I will sit here and say I appreciate what he did for the league and what he did for the Cubs. Honestly, what he did for the Cubs for the years that he was there, and I would say Dusty Baker as well, by the way, what those two guys did for the Cubs, bringing in teams that you thought legitimately had a chance to win games and to do well in the playoffs. Like, while Dusty was there, you expected to be in the playoffs. That mentality then gives birth to what comes after that. And what came after the Dusty Baker, there were some rough years, but those rebuilds brought us to 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Dusty Baker, and I think I'll even say Sammy Sosa helped put that expectation in Chicago.
Yeah, I really do think that for how I think Sammy Sosa being kind of unfairly treated because of how he left the team.
Yeah.
And PED allegations.
Yeah.
Not he was never suspended. It was suspected use. And they're treating him like he got suspended, like he got suspended and tarnished the game of baseball.
Ryan Braun gets a better reception in Milwaukee, and he hasn't done half of what Sammy Sosa did for the Cubs, and he's been suspended twice for PEDs. Come on now. Cubs fans, time to get over it. Okay. Well, out of the MLB, let's just talk playoffs. We're just blanketly talking playoffs. Playoffs?
Yeah,
We're talking playoffs?
Yeah, NBA and NHL. So, Mike, let's start with, have you watched any games?
Have you?
I watched a little bit of the Grizzlies-Warriors game just because there was nothing else on, and my wife was out of the house. But I didn't watch it very long. Maybe a quarter?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. I didn't.
That was also because the NASCAR race got rained out.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it. It's been a crazy busy couple weeks, so I have not yet. Right. I intend to watch a little bit of both. Definitely will. I promise you this. As long as I can watch it on the TV services that I have, I will watch at minimum the finals for both.
Okay, I think you might be able to, because I think the finals could go on to ABC, ESPN for I think for both of them, for both the
Okay.
NBA and the NHL, I think,
We'll
or
find
maybe
out,
TBS.
and again, I'll watch what I can, and yeah.
All
Um.
right, so here's how our teams are doing, Mike.
Yep.
We'll start with the NBA.
Yep.
Your pick of the Chicago Bulls to win it all. They've got eliminated by the Bucks 4-1 in round number one.
Okay.
And your runner-ups from the Western Conference, the Phoenix Suns currently lead the Mavericks 2-1 in their round two matchup.
Okay.
Game 4 is going to be on Sunday.
Yeah.
My pick of the Milwaukee Bucks are tied with the Boston Celtics 1-1. Game 3 is tonight. And the Warriors are tied with the Grizzlies 1-1 with game 3 being tonight. Mike, how are our NHL picks doing?
So, Rich, the Maple Leafs lead the Lightning 2-1. Game 4 is Sunday night. And the Wild are leading the Blues 2-1. Also, Game 4 Sunday night. Or Sunday. Rich,
I don't know.
Rich, your pick of the Avalanche are leading the Predators 2-0. Game 3 tonight. And the Hurricane are leading the Bruins 2-1. Game 4 tomorrow. Okay. I hope the Blackhawks been eliminated yet?
They didn't make the playoffs. So yes,
good.
They've been eliminated.
Good riddance. Sell the Blackhawks. Make the Blackhawks sell.
Probably not going to happen, but okay.
That's fine. I'll become a Minnesota Wild fan. I don't mind that. I live in the area. I'll probably go to one of their. That's probably the Major League Hockey game I'll probably go to. But okay.
Go see the Golden Knights.
Yeah, that sounds good. Either that, or I'll see if Jonathan wants to come up and go to a game when they're playing the Red Wings. So, okay, let's go to the USFL. Rich, are you watching any games?
No, I tried to watch one game because there was nothing else on. I don't remember who was playing, but what I'm seeing,
Was it Birmingham versus Birmingham?
it was
Okay.
It was Birmingham versus Birmingham.
No matter what team it is, it's always Birmingham versus Birmingham until they actually let people go elsewhere. So,
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like any fans are showing up either. The one thing I keep seeing about that keeps coming up on my Facebook feed is it doesn't seem like fans are attending the game either.
you know what the biggest problem is? And I'm telling you, this is where you have to make. They have Fox as a partner, right? And in fact, we found out
Fox technically owns it.
Owns
the principal
it. Right.
majority owner.
So you would think Fox being that, and they've gotten it on TV, and they have good they have a TV contract, if you will. But what's more important is, Rich, you probably don't watch the news that much, right?
No, not really.
Okay, but does it make the evening news? Does it make the 10 o'clock news scoreboard?
I'm gonna say no.
Does it make ESPN highlights?
Probably not, because ESPN is not one of the broadcast partners.
So, most people get their sports and consume sports based on either ESPN Sports Center or their evening news scoreboard.
Probably, because I don't think that FS1 has a Sports Center equivalent show anymore.
Right. So if you're watching TV, if that's how you're consuming sports, and you don't get those updates, do you care?
I don't think you do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I think the biggest thing that I've gotten out of the USFL is that people are poking fun of how stupid Jeff Fisher looks at his age wearing a baseball cap backwards.
Yep. That's what I've gotten out of it too. So if anybody, Mr. The Rock, is that how I address him?
I just think it's The Rock.
Okay, The Rock. If you are watching the show,
which he probably isn't,
I want you to put your marketing ears on right now. You have got to get affiliates, and you've got to get local news and ESPN to do your highlights. Without that, the XFL is going to suffer the same fate that the USFL is, which I'm telling you, here's the biggest thing. I have the over-under on bankruptcy. I think you're right. I don't think it's going to be bankruptcy. But I'm saying over-under on when they decide we're done with this. And I'm going to say June 10th. I don't even know if they have games that late, but June 10th is when they're going to officially announce we're no longer going to be doing the USFL. Because nobody cares. And why does nobody care? Because you got to get in front of people's eyeballs. And yes, you can say we have a TV deal. And that sounds great. But a TV deal doesn't mean anything because it's hard enough. Yes, the NFL gets people to sit for 3 to 10 to 12 hours on a Sunday. But that's because it's the NFL. They've already established themselves. How do they establish themselves? They're on SportsCenter every week. When the football season is on, half of the week, highlights are being shown from the games on Sunday. Every week. And every week there are highlights on your local TV affiliate. Without that, you're not actually, that's where you're getting eyeballs in front of it. So reach out today, Mr. Rock, Mr. The Rock, Mr. Dwayne Johnson. Reach out today to ESPN and say, how do we get a contract that you will cover our games and do highlights for it? If you have to, have your guys cut the reel. Have your production team get that reel ready so that all ESPN has to do is read and show the highlights. Because if you do that, that'll get it in on ESPN. And if you can get it on ESPN. And if it's on ESPN on SportsCenter once or twice a week while there are eyeballs on it, you're going to get people that start to care. And as people start to care, then you're going to get coverage from your daily shows, your daily sports shows. And once you get that coverage, people are going to start wanting to watch it more. And once they want to watch it, they're going to be willing to sit down for an entire 3-hour game and watch it. That's how you make spring football work.
Yeah, I think they might be able to get the local market buy-in because, I mean, you've said it. It's Birmingham versus Birmingham.
Yep.
So maybe the USFL is getting some local coverage in the Birmingham media market, but I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Philadelphia Stars, is the city of Philadelphia following the Philadelphia Stars?
No.
Or the Houston Gamblers following the Houston team? Probably not.
Nope.
But being The Rock and the XFL have already announced that they will play games in local markets.
Good.
All the teams are going to train together and have a central training base in the state of Texas.
You know what? That's basically.
They'll fly in. They'll fly out the teams to their home markets.
Yeah.
To play their games.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Get
actually.
some buy-in.
Yeah. You have to get that buy-in, and I know that it's hard. What you really got to do is you got to get New York, you got to get LA, and then you got to get Texas.
And they are going to have teams in, I think 2 or 3 of their teams are in Texas. Let me check that. Where are the XFL teams?
So yeah, in general, so Rich, I said that that I think they're we're no longer doing this date is June 10th. What is yours?
I'm gonna go with they will make it the entire year only because I think mostly because they're what else does Fox have to lose? They've gone this far. They'll make it the rest of the year, but I almost kind of see Fox maybe even treating this like a TV show, and they will not be renewed for a second season.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing. I don't think you're wrong on that.
Okay, so the XFL teams that we know of right now will be based in. You'll see games even played in St. Louis, which had a good following with
Yep.
their AAF team.
Yep.
Seattle,
Okay.
San Antonio, Orlando, and Dallas. So
Okay.
they are.
They don't
As
have
of
a New
now,
York team.
they're not going to go into the media markets of New York and LA.
I think that's a
Which
a mistake.
I think it's fair. There's so much going on in those cities.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think you're right. I think LA might be a hard sell unless you can get a cheap deal to use the facilities there. But
Mike, they already have two NFL teams, one of which can't fill their stadium.
that's true.
In the Chargers, though.
Yeah. So, that is my take on spring football. Rich, do you have anything else to discuss on the spring football?
No, not really. I mean,
Okay.
the premise is there. Like America loves football,
Yeah.
so we're going to give them more football. But the execution just isn't there, and I almost think that the only way that they're going to make it work is if they can get a buy-in from the NFL as a way to.
Which The Rock is trying to do.
Yeah, he has a lot of agreements with the NFL. All right, you can, we'll be an incubator for some of the rules that you want to see tested in real game action, and we'll hold tryouts that will allow practice players, that allow you to scout for practice players, and
Yep.
we'll train your practice players that or potential practice players.
Yeah.
On.
Okay. Well, Rich, it is the first Saturday of May. It's Mother's Day weekend,
Mm-hmm.
which means dun 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 dun. Are you ready?
I am. So
Let's have the Kentucky Derby. You gonna
All
drink
right,
your
the
mint
Kentucky Derby.
juleps
So get your mint juleps.
and your hat.
Yeah, your brother Tony's there.
My brother Tony is at the race. I find that really exciting. I'm man. So Rich, have you done any research on the race?
Maybe read a little bit.
Okay.
What's your pick, Mike?
I'm picking Zandon.
Zandon, okay. He's the race favorite. I think he's got 3 or 5 to 1 odds.
He was not that high when I picked him. I picked him like 3 days ago when he was like 8 to 1, and I think there were a couple horses at 8 to 1 at the time. So I should have bought my ticket then. Are you thinking about going and putting anything down on that?
No, probably
Okay.
not.
Rich, who is your pick?
I'm going off a name only, and I'm gonna go with Tiz the Bomb.
Okay.
Tiz the Bomb.
Okay. Any other? It's supposed to be a wet, sloppy track today, right? Last I heard.
Yeah, which probably doesn't bode well for Tiz the Bomb because they're saying that he's run the best on synthetic surfaces, not on dirt.
Okay. Well, look for that today on NBC 5:00 Central Time.
Yeah. Let's get the odds. I think I'm trying to find a site that has the odds. There we go. This is how well prepared we come to the show sometimes. Expert picks. I don't want to know who the experts are picking. Oh, well.
Okay, hang on. I'll have it here in a second. I don't want that. Later.
From a day ago, Tis the Bomb was going at 30-1. Zandon was 3-1. Odds courtesy of an ESPN story. Betting tips for the 148th running of the Kentucky Derby. Posted a day ago.
Apparently, the Caesars Sportsbook doesn't have it, but you can bet on Australian rules football on draft day sports on draft days or on Caesars Sportsbook. William Hill.
Oh, William Hill. All right. So you can probably catch the race on NBC. Coverage will start at a ridiculous time of probably in the afternoon, but the race probably won't go. They won't have the race to about 5 or 5:30, if I remember correctly from years past. So, Mike, are you ready to do the spoiler alert for The Masked Singer?
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you do not want to know about The Masked Singer, thank you for joining us for the first part of the show. We don't blame you for leaving. Come back after you've watched it. This has been your spoiler alert. Okay, Rich, this week I did get to watch it. You are not actually
spoiling
it for me. Yeah. What do you think?
It was a tough show to see two people unmasked.
It really was. It was some of the best. This week was probably the best that I've seen in a long time for one whole night. Like, everybody did well.
Yeah, I really could have. I would have been happy if that was the season finale.
Yeah.
And they were crowning in the winner coming from that group. It was that good of an episode. The song that they sang together, they all sang really well together.
Yeah. I
It was awesome. I could have seen any of those three teams. You got to call it a team with the Cobras being three people.
Yeah.
Coming out. But the two people that got unmasked were the Space Bunny, who was entertainer, singer Shaggy.
Yep.
And the Queen Cobras were the 90s group In Vogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think a trio or a group would ever... Do you think they would ever have a group win the entire thing?
I think they could. I think the problem with it is that people are gonna.
And you were one of them when it was when it was the nesting dolls, wasn't it? Where you were saying it just wasn't, or especially with the banana split last year, it was unfair to judge them as a group because the banana split never did any. The banana never did anything.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
He never spoke.
And so I do have a problem with the way that they do that. And so I don't like a couple of things I don't like about it in general. One, I don't think that a group should be allowed to hide their numbers. I think as soon as the group is determined, as soon as the group is there, they need to determine that they are a group and how many there are, because that changes wildly how you. If they would have been voted out the first week, we only had one snake do an interview the first time they were up, right?
Yeah, they only had one person come out.
Let's say they got voted off that week. Then what? Does only one person take off their mask? It's not a fair way to do it. You have to say how many people are in a specific thing. The banana split, at least with the banana split, I will say they provided the fact that there were two of them. Yes, one of them didn't sing. I didn't agree. I don't think he should have been allowed to win because he didn't sing. Because Larry the Cable Guy got up there and sang, and yeah, he sucked. But at least he did it. And I think he deserves more of a chance to win than the banana does in the banana split. Okay, that being said.
Yeah, it was the same thing for you. You made the same case for the Snow Owls. You knew it was two people.
Yep.
It was two people. You knew that both you could guess. You could accurately guess who they were.
Yeah.
The thing with the nesting dolls and the snakes is you could have even made the case that the snakes, is all of their numbers, even the backup dancers, were cobras, and you couldn't necessarily tell which ones were the masked singers and which ones were the backup performers or the dancers, because they all had mics up to their masks.
Yep.
So you didn't know how many. There could have been 4 or 6 up there.
Yep. I don't think it's fair. So, which is why last week my guess for them was the Spice Girls. There's only 5 Spice Girls, but
I thought Spice Girls too for that.
It's not fair to have that many. Now, granted, there's no money on the line. There's nothing. It's just pride and stuff. But if this was something where there was money on the line, I think it's totally unfair. So that's my take on it. So, are you still under conspiracy theory that the whole show is rigged and they made 3 good? I mean, it is 3 good people. But do you think it's because it's rigged, or do you think it's just happened to be that way?
That's tough, because I'm also, I don't know if conspiracy. I just think that I really think I really liked the Thingamabob.
Yeah.
And I thought that he did better than the Firefly. I just did not like the Firefly's performances night in, night out.
Danielle said that
she did her best on the last night that she performed, but that's where I'm confused. I don't know, like, if they're, when you're being, because I've never been in the studio audience, obviously, and we don't know if the show is rigged to where the producers already have the show mapped out before. Do the votes really matter?
Yeah.
That are coming in.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that could be one of the reasons why they get somebody to do that show, is if they guarantee, you can pick your own songs and you're going to go to the finals.
Well, and the other side is, and it's one of those subtle things. The only people that matter when they have an elimination vote. So, like, if it's the sing off, whatever things that they do, the only votes that matters are the judges' votes. Like, that's a thing. The only people that vote when they do, like, the showdowns or whatever, the 10 where they do the duels.
Yeah, but there are 4 panelists. So what happens if there's a tie? Who's the tiebreaker vote?
Yes, but tell me that the panelists don't have the this is where I get in slight conspiracy theory of it, but tell me that the panelists don't have the producers in their ear saying this is who you're voting for. Like, if it was an audience vote thing, that's one thing. It also sucks that with the Masked Singer, because they use celebrities, they basically, I'm pretty sure they shoot it all. I mean, they obviously shoot it all in January-ish. And so it really, like, it's never going to be a show that's going to be, okay, everybody across the country vote, and the votes are in. It's
never
so
they announced I want to know how the voting works, because it's so weird that it's so instantly bam, and the votes are in. even if
Well,
they do like a commercial break after the commercial break.
but again, it's one of those things. They're doing an electronic vote, so I mean, if I put a poll question up on the show and we had people watching and they were voting, uh, we would know the results instantly. We could pull up the results instantly and know what's going on. So that's not a big deal. So
Yeah,
I get it, but I just
that
either way, I don't. There's no transparency in it. I think it's probably rigged. I still enjoy it. I still like trying to figure out who people are.
I mean,
Has it run its course?
It's obviously not, because they're going to do a spin-off to where they're going to have more of an overall international
I did not know that.
competition. Yeah, they're going to have more of an international competition going on.
That's going to be
where you
even
could
more
see
rough.
masked singers from around the world, because this show just isn't just a American show. It originated out in Korea, actually, South Korea.
Okay. I'll
So
be interested to see it.
Different versions are aired around the country.
The hard part on that though is I don't like it. It's going to be celebrities that Americans don't know.
Yeah, they haven't announced how they're going to broadcast the show, but the producers are going to do something along those lines.
Okay.
But I mean, when it comes to almost with this year, and they could have easily dragged the season on a couple more weeks doing it this way. I would have almost liked a double elimination instead of having a double unmasking, of saying, all right, the winner is this, when they got down to two people, instead of having the second person unmask after the commercial break, I would have revealed who the winner of the group is, and then said, but don't worry, you're not going to unmask tonight. We're going to bring you back for a double elimination showdown with the two other people from groups B and C.
Yeah.
Last chance. You get to perform one more time, maybe have a duet thing.
Yeah. Either way, I think they did this season. First of all, I will say this is the best way they've done a season since the second one, when they started having multiple groups of people sing at the same time. Mm-hmm. Where the way that it's been airing, we went all the way through Group A, all the way through Group B, all the way through Group C. Not you get Group A for 2 weeks, and then you do Group B for 3, and then you do Group A for 2, and then you do Group C for 3, and you just do it that way, and eventually you forget who everybody is. So, anyway.
Yeah, they haven't done well. It also it would be nice. It'd be neat to know who the panelists voted for.
Yeah,
you see them, like they show the panelists, but they never really cut away to you seeing who the individual panelists vote for.
Yeah,
that would be another element of the show I'd like to see come through, of them actually revealing live who they thought won the battle, and saying, all right, this is who I'm voting for best performance.
And I think it comes down to transparency on that. I don't think they need it. I think the show obviously does well. But yeah. Okay, folks, this has been Balls and Sticks, the podcast. Thanks for listening this week. If you are watching us on Facebook and you want to just take us in the car, because, listening to a podcast while you drive makes the time go by quicker. I have a scientific theory behind that, and I'll share it with you one of these days. But if you want to do that, check us out wherever you get your podcasts. You can download it there. And Rich, if they're listening to us in podcast land and decided that they want to watch us, but they don't necessarily want to get a Facebook page, what should they do?
Find us on the YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube. Once Mike gets the episode uploaded, you can even watch us at double or triple speed.
Hey, I got last week's up already, and I'm
good,
and I'll get this week's up today. So
good deal. So Mike, before we go though, we got to give a shout out. It's Mother's Day weekend.
It is.
So happy Mother's Day to my mom Pam, as well as my mother-in-law Karen.
Yeah, I'd like to wish my mom Sue happy Mother's Day. And my wife a happy Mother's Day, her second Mother's Day. So hope we can make it an enjoyable time for you. We love you, folks. Thanks for joining us. and we will see you next week. Rich, let's roll the outro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.